All right, I'll call this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item on our agenda is Phyla accessory apartment.
Perfect. Cutting it close.
Hey, I'm right on time. Close linen counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, right?
Approve the minutes first?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
While you're getting set up. Motion to accept the April 17th, 2023 meeting minutes. Motion made by Member Little Beer. Second by Member Holmes. Discussion? Being no discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. The minutes are thereupon adopted, 6-0 with one absence. Okay. So we'll have a discussion before we go to a public hearing on Phyla accessory apartment. I'd like to go ahead.
All right. Just to recap the benefit of the public, if there's anyone here tonight for it. John Phyla, the owner of the parcel on the plans here on Camp Rama Road, is proposing to convert a garage structure into a 2-bedroom accessory apartment. The parcel meets all the minimum lot acreages, so does the accessory apartment itself, the required amount of square footage for it. Last time we were here, I had told the board that we were working to foil the health department to see if, one, there were any records on the existing septic system for the accessory apartment, and two, if those records did not exist, to work with the health department to get a septic design plan designed and approved. So we did foil the health department. They did not have any records. The structure was built well before then. So instead, now we're moving forward with the design of the septic system. So 2 weeks ago, we were actually able to get the health department out to the site to do perks and deeps. And we're currently, I just looked at the final design that's going to be submitted to the health department for the septic system. So we're hoping to get that submitted sometime this week. Other than that, there's no real new updates. And happy to answer any questions that the board may have.
Okay. Well, I don't have any questions at this time. See if any members of the planning board have any questions. Member Sidor? Member Holmes?
Nope. No questions.
Solano? Or Lorbia? Okay. We'll start with Attorney Polidoro.
Nope, just waiting on updated information.
Okay. Minor Werner?
Yeah, same. I think we also had a minor comment last time about updating the bulk table to reflect the floor area
Right. Yep.
compliance. So whenever you're resubmitting, there wasn't anything resubmitted between last time and now.
Right.
So you're
'cause
working
I
on the
was kinda
septic.
waiting on this
Right.
to get squared away so I can adjust the
That's fine.
the septic location. So that will be submitted
When you
next
submit
time.
when you submit the plan again that has septic info, also just include that revision too. All for me.
Engineer Berger?
Yes, Peter, you're doing it septic. Any idea of your area disturbance or amount of fill?
It's no fill for the septic system so far.
Okay.
We were able to design it without fill.
Okay.
Has to have a pump chamber. But it's fairly minimal disturbance. It's not going to exceed,
Not half an acre?
I don't think it'll exceed
Okay.
half an acre.
Okay.
It's
So,
only 2 trenches that we'll need.
okay, so you got gravel.
Yep.
Okay, so you put all that area disturbance on there so we don't have,
Okay.
okay.
So that's for the erosion control permit. That's why you're asking?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's all I have, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Engineer Berger. Okay, having heard from our consultants, does anybody have any comments, questions this time? So I guess just 2 things then. Do we have a reasonable timeline for the work to get done?
For septic approval,
Yeah.
I have no idea. I'm sure Joe. can
Engineer
tell
Berger,
you
does that sound
a
correct?
timeline is
That he would have no idea?
yeah.
2 months minimum.
2 months minimum, okay. And then, Attorney Polidoro, we left it as, so we're having a public hearing tonight, but are we opening it and then, I remember we made it conditional and it's just been a month and a half. I don't exactly remember what we,
So
I said was a condition for.
I guess we should ask, was it noticed for tonight?
Yes, it was.
Yes, so we should open it
Mhm.
and continue it for a
Okay.
period of time.
All right. I'll make a motion to open the public hearing for file accessory apartment. Motion made by myself, seconded by Mervolano. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed say no. Okay, this public hearing is now open. Any members of the public wishing to speak regarding file accessory apartment, please come to the podium at this time. Okay, seeing no one approaching the podium, make a motion to continue this public hearing. So again, I guess this goes to what's a reasonable time frame for,
At least second meeting in July, probably August, first meeting of August.
Well, would there be an opportunity to issue a conditional approval on this, where it is contingent upon us providing you a final approval from the health department?
Sometimes the board is open to that, but on this one, they don't want to do that because we've had issues in the past where it turns out they can't actually fit a septic or something doesn't work on the site, so.
Okay. So at least we should at least get some preliminary comments from the health department saying that it is feasible before we'll be open to that.
At
from
the
the
very
board.
least, yes.
All right.
Engineer Berger, is that something they might be amenable to?
Sure.
Okay. All right, so I'll make a motion to continue the public hearing to, need the calendar for July.
17th.
Right, July 4th is a Tuesday, Monday, there's no meeting, so it's 17th, you said?
17th.
Okay, so a motion to continue this public hearing to Monday, July 17th, at 7 PM or soon thereafter as public, as a planning board may hear. Is there a second? Second by member Sador. Discussion? Okay, so hopefully in the next 6 weeks or so, you can,
Fingers
you can get the information.
Yep.
Okay,
We'll definitely have some information, I'm hoping, back from the health department by then.
okay,
And we'll make sure that it's submitted with our next round.
okay.
All right.
So all those in favor of continuing the public hearing, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Okay, the public hearing is continued to Monday, July 17th.
All right.
Okay,
Perfect. Thank you, everyone.
thank you.
Might be the record time for planning board meetings.
Yeah, we had
See you
some record
Wednesday.
time.
Great seeing you. Okay, new business. The O'Neill White lot line adjustment. Anyone here for O'Neill White lot line adjustment? Okay, please come to the podium. Please do.
Mr.
Oh,
Yes, please do. Thank you. Okay, welcome. And you are?
Alton White.
Elton White, okay. And, so this is the O'Neill White lot line adjustment, and, correct, we have documentation that O'Neill is okay with White, speaking on behalf of O'Neill White.
we do.
Okay.
Tonight, though, we would like Mr. White to sign the application indicating that you're also a, co-applicant.
Yeah, I could sign whatever.
Okay, after you present, we
Yeah.
can do that.
Okay. So do you have a presentation for us, or you're just?
No, I'm
okay.
just here if you have any questions. Basically, it's a lot line adjustment. He had it drawn up years back,
Mhm.
and we weren't ready to do the purchase. So he said, call me when you're ready, and now we're ready, and we ended up here.
All right, so I guess just give me a minute then to just kind of, so this is a lot line adjustment on Davis Road, which is off of Parmalee Road, which is off of New York State Route 55, along the 10 Mile River.
Yes.
And so the O'Neill property is this parcel A and B, correct?
Yes.
And so, and you are the owner of parcel C,
Yep.
and so parcel A and B is going to be split along this line, make two separate parcels, A and B, and then you would join, then we would be joining parcel B with parcel C,
Yes, sir.
correct? That, yes? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So I don't have any questions right this time. Let's see if any members of the planning board have any questions. Member Lordier? Member Villano?
Nope.
Member Williams?
No.
Member Holmes?
No.
Member Zador?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Lot line adjustment requires a,
It's a subdivision application. You're required to have a public hearing on it. As, you know, as we go through the process, you'll have to have an attorney eventually draw up the deed selling
Yeah.
B and combining it with C.
Yep.
So we'll need to see that.
all right. Anything further?
Oh, yeah, I have a question. What is the purpose of the sale? Are you, it looks
Just
like
to
you,
add more property.
it looks like you have a mobile home park there?
No.
No.
No. No, and that, there's no mobile here. There's really just a little house right here.
Okay.
and a garage. This used to be mobile. We tore it down.
Yeah, let me zoom in.
Years
This,
ago, we had a permit.
there's a lot of lines, but it's, like, this is just a,
Yeah,
this is
there
like a
are a lot of
concrete
lines.
pad, right?
That's just a piece of concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The well house and.
Yeah, there's the well
driveway,
house.
that's where
Yeah.
the garage field.
Yep, the septic's over there for that little house.
So it's just well labeled, but it makes it look like there's a
Okay.
bunch of structures on
Yeah.
the site when it's really just this one-story dwelling in this garage.
Correct.
Okay, yeah.
The old mobile was taken down.
Right.
That thing is, I don't know, it's called a wood frame.
But literally from out here, it looks like you've got a little city on this tiny property.
No.
Okay,
So
yeah,
we're
yeah.
just trying
okay.
to add to it.
So again, this is a structure, and that's a structure, and there's a porch off the front and the back,
Correct.
and then everything else is just
Yeah,
stuff
it
and
was-
things.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
all kind of established in the
Yep.
late 60s, I think, 68.
Okay.
Early, yeah.
You also own
And you also own this
to the
part.
south, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And you're giving yourself permission to drive from your parcel across your parcel
Well,
to
we
the new
run our
parcel.
mowers and stuff through there,
Oh,
so
okay.
it's, he wrote a dirt path, I guess.
Sure.
He didn't want to leave anything out,
So,
that's all.
More
Yeah.
information's always good.
Right?
I mean, we should probably add a note, but we can talk about that. So is there a reason that you're keeping this other lot separate?
Well, the bank owns this lot, and I own this lot. So that's.
Oh,
why
so
we-
that's not, okay.
You mean like you have a mortgage?
Yes.
Oh, so you,
Oh.
you own it, not
Well,
that the bank
that
owns
remains
it.
to be seen.
Okay. Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Sure. Okay.
There's no reason to combine.
That one I own.
Suddenly,
Okay,
if
that's
several
as good
thousand
an
people in town
explanation as
realize they
any.
don't own their property.
Yeah.
That's just the hard truth.
Okay.
And really, we're just looking for more property, that's all.
Sure.
The opportunity was there, and
Yeah.
we took it,
Okay.
hopefully.
Any other legal
Everything works out.
questions? Planner Werner, any planning questions?
No, that was the main question. Everything else is just comments that that the plan is thorough, and they're complying with all the code requirements. It is, it's non-compliant now, but they're adding 2 acres, and it won't lessen that non-compliance as a result, so it's complying with the code.
Right.
It's type 2 for seeker, which we can do tonight, and set a hearing for the next meeting, most likely.
All right. Thank you, Planner Werner. Engineer Berger?
No comments.
Having heard from our consultants, any members of the planning board have any questions, comments? No? Okay. Okay, so then we have this resolution prepared to classify the action with respect to seeker. And then after that, we would set up public hearing. All right, let's take care of the resolution. First, resolution classifying the action, O'Neill White lot line alteration. Whereas the applicant, David O'Neill, has submitted an application for a lot line adjustment transferring 2.0 acres from property located at 6562-6568 Route 55, tax parcel number 7160-03-391338, to 35-37 Davis Road, tax parcel number 7160-03-3603. 1-4, collectively known as the project, in the RU zoning district, and whereas the project is depicted on a subdivision plat entitled Lot Line Adjustment Plat prepared for O'Neill and White. Fair for O'Neill and White. The premises designated as tax grid number
Oh.
7160 dash.
That really is the whole title.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As tax grid numbers 7160-03-391338 and 7160-03-3603. 1-4, located at New York State Route 55 and Davis Road, and parentheses, prepared by Kenneth B. Salzman, land surveyor, May 16, 2023, collectively known as a subdivision plat. And whereas the applicant has submitted a short environmental assessment form, or EAF, dated March 8, 2023, pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act, also known as SECRA. And whereas in accordance with SECRA, the planning board is required to determine the classification of the proposed project, and whereas pursuant to 6 NYCRR 617.5C, a lot line alteration is a type 2 action under SECRA. Now therefore be it resolved that the planning board hereby classifies the project as a type 2 action under SECRA. This resolution is being offered by
So moved.
Member Sador, seconded by
Second.
Member Villano. Discussion? I guess the surveyor gets paid more for the length of the title of the plat, I guess.
He wants to be very,
Long title.
very thorough.
They're used to doing those titles for alter surveys. They require long titles.
Okay.
They do more alter surveys than they do subdivisions. It's a progression that moves forward.
I mean, you can't confuse it with any other place.
No, that's where it comes from.
Sure.
Is when you do a ALTA, which is the Commercial Land Title Association survey. That's the format.
Anything further on this resolution? Seeing nothing further, as it is a resolution, the secretary please call the roll.
Member Williams,
Aye.
Aye.
Member Villano,
Aye.
Member Sudor,
Aye.
Member LaRobidier, Member Holmes,
Aye.
Chair Courtine.
Aye.
Tell them to look into the microphone. I can't.
Did you say your microphone was working?
Thank you.
Not working.
Tis not.
All right. The vote is 6-0 with one absence. That is the classification as a type 2 action. Now we need to set the public hearing. Do we see any reason why we can't set this public hearing for 2 weeks from now?
Can you get notices in the paper?
I can send it out tomorrow.
And we were looking to have a planning board meeting 2 weeks from now. If for no other reason, then we're going to be reviewing
The amendment.
something from the what's
Town
the name of your
board.
committee, the comprehensive plan update
Possible.
committee?
And also a release of bonds,
And a release of bond. Okay.
which
So it'll
could,
be
that
more
could
than
be
just
done,
this
that
at
could
the
be
next
done in
meeting.
July too.
Sure, but okay. We don't want to hold this up.
Okay.
All right, I'll make a motion to set a public hearing for the O'Neill White lot line alteration for Monday, June 19th at 7 p.m. or soon thereafter, as public hearing can be held. Seconded by Member Holmes. Discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor of setting public hearing for O'Neill White lot line alteration, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Okay, that passes 6-0 with one absence. Do we have anything further this evening with Mr. White? Other than signing that document, does
Yeah, I'll
Mr.
take
White need
care
to
of
do
that.
anything else?
When you guys.
Okay.
You have the application, Marilyn? Okay, great.
Oh, I thought you said 17.
No, that was the other one.
Yeah, you just go over to,
Needs to put the sign up, right, Marilyn?
yes, so there'll be a public hearing sign he needs to pick up. Right. Yeah.
Find the
Oh, you can get it tonight.
Yep.
You can get your sign tonight. Look at that. Efficiency. You have to put a sign.
There's a sign you gotta put up,
You can just,
Property.
if you can just sign here.
yeah.
My wife had to go to her niece's wedding. Is there a microphone on?
Oh,
I have to pick her up 10:30.
nice. I'm just gonna write Alton White under this.
No, I don't know. Okay.
And can you just date it? It's the
It could be
fifth.
that it could be that it's picking up
It's 5:23.
for broadcast, and we should stop tapping the microphone. I don't know. Feel at home. We're like, why are they tapping the microphone?
Okay.
Um,
The light's not even on.
Mary Polidoro, the sign, should that be posted on Route 55 or
Dave's property.
on Dave's property on Route 55? Right. 'Cause that's-
It can be posted there, or it could be posted on Mr. White's property at the end of the
With
road.
all the traffic on Davis Road.
So if you want more, yeah, we can direct it to be on, well, not 55, Parmalee, right? It's Parmalee and Davis?
Well, because yeah, the O'Neill property is really off of, I think, 55.
Okay, so yeah, I would post it on the O'Neill property on 55, so it has more
I think
exposure.
for no other reason, out of abundance of caution, people be like, wait, you put it on Davis Road so I couldn't see it. and-
Right, yeah.
Yeah, put it somewhere over
Okay.
there in the driveway.
Yeah, we're.
Yeah, just somewhere along his property on 55 should be fine.
Take a, if you can't, take a picture of it for yourself. People pull signs. People pull signs. Yeah, she's.
Yeah, if you just go back through that door. Thank you, Mr. White. Okay. All right, next we have a request for extension for Dover Estates subdivision, and separately, but the same person, Rusciano Erosion and Sediment Control. So, Mr. Rusciano, if you want to come to the podium. That is efficient.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Rusciano. How are you?
He did a lot of detail.
Good, good.
You guys wanted to see like the
Just give us a moment here.
Tell me, did you, Jay?
All right, so we have before us Mr. Rusciano requesting extensions for Dover Estates subdivision and for Rusciano Erosion and Sediment Control. If maybe Attorney Polidoro can give us a brief history here.
A history, sure. I mean,
It's not brutal.
you're seeking the 25th extension for one application and similar number for the other.
I thought we were going to start the counting process over. Didn't we say that last time?
Right, so last time we talked about maybe coming in and reapproving it and submitting updated seeker.
So 6 months, we gave it a year. Right?
Right, I didn't mean it that way. I mean, because I put a, well, we gave you the bond,
Uh-huh,
and we're just waiting to start. I mean, we're not one of the, I mean, we're busy, and we're going to get to it.
Okay.
so, I mean, one thing that we definitely want updated is the bond. I mean, construction costs have gone up significantly in the past year, and we're not sure whether the old numbers are still good. So we ask that you provide updates to both your bonds, and they'll be reviewed by the engineer.
Both bonds? There was only one bond.
Okay, then just the one.
Okay. When do we need that? Is that,
Before the board will consider voting on this.
Yeah, this actually expires in August.
August.
Yes.
Yeah. So this
So,
is something that could be voted on at the July meeting, provided you provided you provide the documentation for the attorney and the engineer.
so just on the erosion control bond?
mhm.
I don't think costs went up that significantly that would change from a year ago.
You know, construction costs have gone up 30% on some items. I don't know the answer, but just show us that it has or hasn't.
Okay.
It was $3,000 performance guarantee last year.
That was for my own personal property?
That was for the Rusciano extension.
Right,
The
and
ero-
then the other one was $16,000.
Right, so it was two. It was
So there were two.
Okay.
So I put in a certified check for the $3,000 way back then.
Mm-hmm. Right, but it might need to be increased. It's,
It might not. This
It-
is-
it might
that's all
not. I don't
being
know.
asked is to look into it, whether the costs have gone up. That's all. Anything further with with respect to this?
That's it for me.
Okay.
I mean, I guess you should know that at some point, I think the Comprehensive Plan Committee is working on zoning amendments, and they may be proposing a limit on the number of extensions you can get. So keep that in mind.
Okay.
The limit won't be 25. It would be lower.
How's your health department approvals?
Oh, they're all up to date.
They're current?
Yep. I remember.
They're still extending them?
Yep.
Okay, you're probably on the last extension there, too.
Yeah.
That's
So
been a
he
long
just
time for
needs
the
to
health
tell us if
department.
It might have gone up.
When was the last time they extended it?
I think we're good till 2025 or something.
Okay, keep that in mind.
Okay.
Engineer Berger,
Typically,
you
there's a
want-
one-shot, typically subdivisions. This was approved as a subdivision.
Right.
So it's a realty subdivision, and typically they get one approval for a 5-year approval,
Okay.
and then one extension. And that's it, then they make them start over. The pandemic changed things. So they're quickly going back to the pre-pandemic standards. So the board knows.
So is that, Engineer Berger, is that a document that you would like to see from the applicant?
I think we should probably see that the extensions are current,
Okay.
because the health department, the lots are formed. There's no way they're not formed.
Right.
But
The lines
they-
don't go away.
The lots never go away,
Right.
but the house and septic lots, their approvals, if they go away, they just become empty lots, non-realty lots.
Right.
So they would have to start all over again. So
The lines would remain, but, okay.
they become just non-realty lots
Non-realty.
without any standing. You'd have to start over again. And that would affect our erosion control, because then there's no reason to extend an erosion control on a non-existent health department approval. Because our approval is just a chapter 65 for the construction of not just the rural road, but the house lots and the septic areas.
Okay.
The three things together. The board may or may not remember, the chairman remembers, this is the job that started the code change for rural roads.
Yes, because this is off of Rural Avenue. I mean, that just happened to be off of Rural
Yeah,
Avenue.
but we,
That's not why it was called that,
we
but-
changed the code specifically for our rural roads for this, when the subdivision came in.
Right, right, right.
So this has a smaller rural private road standard, which is built different than a town road, but it's privately, going to be privately owned.
Right. Which still maintains a standard for the fire department to drive fire trucks down, but
Still has it.
it's not as high of a standard where
Yes.
the landowner wouldn't have to incur as much cost, right?
And it could never be accepted as a town road as a result, because
Right.
it's being built to a lesser standard, but still sufficient for a fire truck. Yes.
Yes, I do remember that.
It's been so long, new members of the board may not know the history on this.
Okay.
And the fill from this was intended to go to your other lot.
Right, that's where the erosion
That's why the
sediment
two are
control-
kind of keyed together. On his personal lot, he has a hole to fill in, and there's a lot of fill that has to material has to come out of this. Will be sent over to your other lot, correct?
Yes.
Not that's required, you could actually do one without the other if you choose to. But that's what you,
That was the
Described.
premise, right, that was the.
that's how you describe the two getting approved together. And that's why they're always coming in together as extensions.
Okay. All right, Planner Werner, anything to add here?
No, I mean, honestly, this also predates my involvement with the town, so I would, if the recommendation is to start over, obviously I would have a lot more to do. I would look at it, I would ask for an EAF, and
Right.
we could restart the seeker process, but it doesn't sound like we're doing that just yet, so.
Right, I mean, let's hear from members of the planning board. I don't have anything to add. Any questions or comments? Member Williams?
None.
Member Holmes? Member Sador?
Nope.
Member Lear? Member Valano? No. Okay, so I think what is being asked of you, Mr. Rusciano, is documentation from the health department just to show that you are up to date, as per what our engineer said, and just a hard look at the bond amounts per our attorney to see if they are still sufficient for what has been proposed.
So does that mean I have to come to the next, when's the next?
So what I'm thinking is, since the approvals are up in August, when in August exactly?
I have the resolution open. August 1st? Wait, no, that's the resolution.
August
Yeah,
7th.
August 7th?
August 1st for one, and August 2nd for the other. Did you say 7th, or are you asking when the meeting date is, or when they?
No, when the approvals expire.
Yeah, the 2nd and
Oh,
the 1st.
7th.
Second and the first, okay.
I'm not sure.
So we could review it on the July 17th meeting.
Right, so my thinking was that you would need to submit this by June 28th for the July 17th meeting. And then if there's a problem, we'd still have a meeting August 7th, and we could potentially, possibly retroactively approve these two things on August 7th.
Right, I mean, the request for an extension was timely,
Right,
and as long
Yes.
as he's diligently pursuing it.
right, then just the deadline of June 28th for the documents that was requested. And then appearing again at the July 17th meeting.
And as far as the documents, as far as the update of the bond, a letter from a construction company saying they'll honor those prices is suffice?
Joe, is that acceptable for you? Usually like to see a breakdown of the costs, the material costs, or,
Yeah, we just have the construction company take the bond you did before and just redate it, that's what they think is still numbered.
Okay,
That's where it came from before, so.
all right.
They're
Right,
honoring
and,
it, let them just put the numbers so
yeah.
that there's no question.
And Attorney Polidaro's, I think, whole point is just, they might look at it and be like, you know what, it's not 16,000, it's probably more 18,000 now, or it's not 3,000, it's more 4,000. But they might say 16 and 3, and then
Okay,
it's not a problem, right?
all right.
and usually, Joe, you add some extra money if we have to pull it, right, to cover prevailing wages, 10%?
Usually we make sure it's there enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Joe always does a look to make sure there's a cushion, because in the event the town ever had to pull the bond to do the work, because there was an issue, their drainage wasn't working, it was on the town road, the town has to pay prevailing wages
Sure.
to its workers, so it's always a little bit more.
So some of the engineers and contractors put that in to begin with. Some don't. So we look at the numbers, and I don't always adjust all of them, because sometimes the numbers are more than enough for that.
Gotcha.
Depending on who's writing up their numbers.
So the letter will be from our own company, from our own construction.
That's fine. I mean, doesn't require to come from an engineer, it would come from a contractor.
He's
Okay.
saying it would come from himself.
We're gonna look at the numbers anyway.
Yeah,
it
so,
really-
right, that's why the number should be
We'll honor
there.
Numbers
those
anyway.
prices.
So they can
I'll tell you
review.
right now, That's fine.
Yeah.
You know, so our property.
It's just a
is-
formal process.
Okay.
That's all it is.
Yeah,
I'm gonna honor those prices formally.
you're gonna honor those prices
Yeah.
for yourself.
Take the bond number and redate it.
That's good of you.
Okay.
Being honest with you.
I know.
I'm not trying to waste anybody's
It's fine,
time.
no,
with the
it's
McCoy,
fine,
you know.
it's just, this is, like you said, it's a formal process, we gotta go through the formalities.
Well, the other thing is, and we've had this happen, you could sell your project,
Yeah.
and then someone else buys it, and then all of a sudden, we're stuck with a bond that's not sufficient,
Well, we're not gonna sell it with.
Or a giant hole in the ground, or whatever.
or a giant hole, or,
We have two of them right now.
correct.
It's all
So
family
it's,
owned. I live,
Yeah, no.
It's- again, it's not
It's not you,
specific
we're
to
just
you.
saying, it could happen, it has happened.
we
yeah, we
have to
walk
protect
that
the
property
town.
all the time.
Yeah.
My house connects to that property.
Yeah. Again, we're not saying
This is
you,
almost-
Mr. Rusciano, we're saying it has happened. So, everybody here just needs to watch out for, what's in the best interest of the town.
Okay, so a letter from my father's construction company saying that both of those bond amounts are correct.
Just take the bond you had before and redate it.
with the breakdown of
Yeah.
Sure.
the cost.
Yeah.
And the updated Board of Health approvals?
You should have a letter from the Board of Health.
Yeah.
Either you got 5 letters or 1 letter.
Correct. Yep, I got one.
Usually it's 1 letter and you list all the lots.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Anything further for Mr. Rusciano? All right, thank you, Mr. Rusciano. We'll see you in July.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. So again, on that, our next meeting is June 19th, 2 weeks from now. The deadline for that has passed. We will have a public hearing for the O'Neill White lot line adjustment. Our secretary has very efficiently given the sign to the applicant before he left the building tonight. So, and he's placing that on Route 55.
Well,
Secretary Van Miller, we may also have, then, you said a release of bonds,
we may be releasing 2 bonds.
and then we might have a discussion about a local law update.
Yes, there's a possibility that the zoning update committee will be giving the town board and the planning board the solar law.
Oh, well, good.
Because that committee's meeting next week?
Wednesday,
This week?
this Wednesday, and in 2 weeks.
So we might have it by the 19th.
Yep.
I mean, we would have it by the 19th, and then we could
Yeah.
give a recommendation to the town board.
When we get
They
you all,
technically still need to refer it to us
It needs to
at
be,
their meeting.
the time doesn't start to run until there's a formal referral by
Right.
the town board. But,
But it's a kind of a giving us a heads up, and
yeah,
so.
it doesn't hurt to start looking at it.
So it could be something we discuss on the 19th, and then we vote on whatever response, if any, in July, before their meeting in July, where they would have to
right?
look to move forward with it. Okay. Any further business before the planning board?
I like it.
I'll make a motion to adjourn, seconded by
Second?
Member Sador. All those in favor of adjournment say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned.